Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. Rich Tehrani here at IT Expo West 2012 in Austin, Texas at the Austin Convention Center. On our program today is Mark Thames with Toopher. He is the SVP of Client Development. And Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So start at the top. I like the company name. I like how it's got Toopher, but it's spelled differently than the Toopher you might think.
Correct. People associate with the two-factor authentication, so it's Toopher. But Toopher saves consumers and enterprises billions on online fraud and identity theft using the location awareness of your smartphone to automate the multi-factor process to make it an easy security solution for mass adoption for people to use.
So walk me through how would that exactly work. In my office, I get it. So I'm in the office, and then so I guess that's one piece of the authentication puzzle, right? That
well, most people use usernames and passwords as their authentication.
Right.
However, usernames and passwords are broken, and if you just use that, people can get into your access your accounts, access your identity, your reputation. So what Toopher does is uses not only your username and password. Once that's correct, it then goes in and knows what machine you're coming from. It also registers with your smartphone, so it knows where you are. Now, the nice thing about Toopher is if you tell it to remember that location, that you trust that location, it can automate the process in the future to where you can keep your phone in your pocket, to where you don't have to always do something. So that's what Toopher does. That's the difference between Toopher and the other multi-factor solutions out there.
Now, what about for traveling? If you travel to the same location, let's say you're in the same hotel night after night, then
yeah, you just say remember this location when you do the grant. You know, when you do the authentication piece on your phone, and it won't ask you again. And if it does, and you're at a different location, it'll pop up on your phone, and you can just say simple grant or deny. If somebody is logging into your account and it's not you, obviously your phone will go off. And you can actually deny that in real time, whether it's logging into your username and password, using your ATM or credit card. All those things can be prevented in real time now with your smartphone.
Fantastic. Now, in terms of, I'm just trying to think of any other security issues that you may have now. You've got the GPS on the phone, you've got apps. The apps run across all different cell phones or all different phone
right
makers?
now we do have Android available. The iPhone is on iTunes today is available. We're also working on BlackBerry and Windows 8 at this time.
So walk me through how it works on iOS, because it's not as multitasking friendly as some of the other.
Correct. It took a little bit longer to make the iOS, but it still works very well. What we've done on iOS is if you're the enterprise that's securing your logins for your customers, you'll put a few lines of code in your authentication stack, and what that'll do is it'll tell it to go out to the cloud. We have a SaaS-based offering, and it will say, where's this user's phone? And then it goes into our system in the cloud, finds the phone, and then asks the phone those questions. If everything matches, including the location, it'll automate the response back to the authentication stack of the enterprise, allowing the rest of the login process to happen without bothering the user. If the location's not there, or there's something different, like the different machine name, different location, different username, those types of things, then it will ask the user again to prompt and say either grant or deny the access, and then if they want to automate it again, they can just flip it and say automate from here. So it works very well.
So you basically have to tell the iPhone to allow your application access to location.
Yes,
data,
and it doesn't
right?
just use GPS. A lot of people think that they have this big brother thing. It does not actually watch and see where you are. All it does is it takes a snapshot of that location, and then the next time, if you're there, it'll just do a quick whitelist to see if you're within 200 to 300 yards, or however the client wants to configure it. If you're there, if you are, it'll automate the response. It uses a combination of GPS, Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, LTE. All those technologies, it figures out the best location. So even if you don't have your GPS enabled, but you have your Wi-Fi enabled, it'll still work. So it'll pick the best solution out of that for your location.
Now, and what kind of applications would a typical user use this for, like on an iPhone? You have your iPhone here for the authentication, but then maybe you have a tablet where you're working, or you have a PC, or how does that work?
Anywhere you log in. I mean, it's anywhere you log in or use things that could be fraudulent. So right now we have it working for, you can log into your Amazon, your Starbucks, you can log into your LinkedIn, you can also log into your online banking account. We're also integrating this with mobile banking platforms to where we can actually secure that mobile banking platform with this technology, as well as ATM and debit card transactions. So you can use this, we're working with that to be able to automate that piece as well, to where we can have full protection of your banking, your healthcare, your pay-for services, your social media, and even your work login. This can replace the traditional multi-factor logins for your network access at work, for example, or your VPN access, those types of things.
And it's not hardware-based. Recently, within the last year or so, there were some encryption codes, and I can't remember the precise technology that was broken into by banks, and they had to send out new, larger cards.
That's correct, and there's nothing to actually buy for the consumer, or even the enterprises to give to the consumer, because most people that have their smartphones will just download a free app. So what we've done is we've taken all those cards with the one-time passwords or the codes on it, the key fobs with the changing passwords or one-time passwords or SMS messages, and we've replaced it with one app where a user can consolidate all their authentication, whether it's their eBay account, their iTunes, their LinkedIn, their work, their bank, their ATM card, all in one app for free, and then use it for free. And that's the way we've done it. So there's nothing to buy for the consumer. There's also nothing to buy for the enterprise that's deploying this, because we're a B2B2C model. So a client that would sign up with us, let's say a bank, for example, would not have to go buy appliances, have to install servers or systems, unless they really wanted to. All they would have to do is put 4 or 5 lines of code with a toolkit in their authentication stack. It can get a client up running in less than 4 hours, I've seen. Start to finish, doesn't matter how big they are. And they go in and they use the service, and they're up and running.
Great, last question, what's next?
What's next? We're looking at expanding this from just online security into other types of security. We've looked at integrating this with home security systems, cars, vehicles with the keyless fobs, we can actually secure that. Things like physical access, like data center access. So that's really what's next. And then finally, we're really looking at the credit card piece.
Very cool.
Of how to secure your credit card transactions in real time.
Well, that's great, because we know fraud is worth billions of dollars a year.
$114 billion a year in annual fraud in the world.
So if we can knock that down,
Yeah.
we'll make some significant progress, I guess, in reducing the costs of transactions, which hopefully some of that savings will get passed along to consumers, some to the businesses.
Correct, and most importantly, making security convenient for people. That's the key.
Excellent. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.